Hello, everyone. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're watching God, Sex, and Love Live. I have Miss Lillian Harshaw from Worldly Church Girl here with me on God, Sex, and Love. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you today? Look on the other
well,
side.
well, you was on the other side Tuesday,
Yes,
so
yes.
I feel like you today on tonight. I This is different.
Right,
This is
right.
different. I don't know what to do with my hands. This is different. I'm being in the hot seat. I don't know, Lord. But I know I need to be ready for this. So
Mm-hmm.
whew. But I'm glad to be
Yes.
here. I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be with you. And it was a joy having you on my show. And it's
Mhm.
even more of a pleasure to be on yours. And I'm honored that you would have me on here.
Of course, yes, ma'am. I was gonna say actually the same thing. I was like, you're one of those people that even though I believe that was our first time talking and like, well, as in person as we can be through here, right?
Right.
And it just flowed to me. Like I was like, she's one of those people I just clicked with. I said that the next day when I posted about you and everything like that. So I'm glad that you're here as well. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
my turf, God, sex, and love. It's not much different, or anything like that, in my opinion. That's the thing. When I came across you in the group, when I saw your post, I was like, oh yeah, we seem like we're on the same page in regards to like our content and everything like that. So as I said, everyone, this is Lillian Harshaw, and she has the podcast Worldly Church Girl. So I know you thought like, Lord, here I go. I have to explain it, right? Like so.
It's all right.
Well, tell us about Worldly Church Girl. So let us know what's going on.
Okay. Do you want me to explain the name first or do you want me to tell what the podcast is first? Which one do you want?
Well, let's start with the name, and then yeah, you can go into the podcast.
Okay. So the name came about. I am currently writing a book about my life.
Mm,
And it is not, I put it this way, this book will not be in the Christian section because I wasn't saved all my life. Let's just keep it
okay.
100.
Yes.
So it's gonna be very real, very upfront. And
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of a name for my book, and my husband and I was making a bed one morning, and I was like, I need a name. I cannot think of a name for nothing in the world, and the Lord gave it to me, Worldly Church Girl. And I tell people that because I need for them to understand I am not that clever to come up with a name like that. The
Wow.
Lord gave me that name.
Yes.
So if you have a qualm with that, take it up with Him.
Come on. Come on. I feel you. I've definitely done things like that too, where it's like, all right, look, I know that this is what God put on my heart and mind to do. Here I am doing it now. Like y'all can't get mad at me. At the end of the day, this is a God thing.
It's a God thing.
Because you can see results from Worldly Church Girl as well. Like, how long have you been doing it now?
I started officially started in 2019, but I say on a roll in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the pandemic like really got in full swing. Um and I could just say that the Lord has just been opening one door after another, and after another, and doors I didn't even know that was even there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've just been blessed to even be put in this position, and I can't thank him enough to have me in positions where I'm talking to people that I would have never thought in a million years that I would be able to talk to, like you. I would have never met you if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing this and learn about your podcast and what you're doing in the kingdom work. And
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
I've talked to, I mean, celebrities. I've talked to people and people who are just trying to make a difference in this world or in their community or in the
Mm-hmm.
ministry, even like teenagers who starting their own business. I mean, it's not even about the big names. It's just about people who's just making a difference.
Yes.
And I just love it. And it's just been a blessing the whole journey.
I'm right there with you. I feel the exact same way about my journey with GSL. And it's like each time something happens, I'm just like, man, God, look at what you did. Like, man, like again, there's no way we would have met if we both didn't step out on faith to do these things that God had for us to do. So, I just thank God that we did that.
Right.
And and I appreciate each and every conversation, like you said, from big to small and everything like that. So, man, this is great. This is great, and I commend you for taking that first step
Thank
to get
you.
it started, man. So, okay, so Worldly Church Girl, you told us about the name. So tell us about the podcast itself. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, the podcast itself. Okay. The podcast itself, the best way I could describe it is has a little bit of everybody in it. And it's not cookie cutter, because we Christians, we're not cookie cutters. We're not all the same. We're all different, which means we're not perfect. We're all uniquely designed. So with that being said, the podcast has a little bit of everybody in it, different diversities, different walks of life, and they're all just sharing their stories, wherever the case may be. Now, my show might be a little bit unorthodox because it can go anywhere. I mean, it can start off as an interview, then it can turn into a whole conversation about whatever. And that's fine with me. And I have a thing where I normally don't even talk to my guests before the interview, because I want it to feel like an organic conversation, and because it is an organic conversation. And I do look into people's profiles, but I don't actually talk to the guests, because I want everybody to feel just as engaged into the conversation as I'm engaged. And the only way to do that is for it to be brand new to me, just as it is to the person that's on the other side. So
yeah, I do that too. I do that too. I know someone asked me today, like if I had questions. Now you at least go the mile to make questions. I don't even do I don't even do that. I just whatever on the spot. Like, I mean, I don't know. A lot of this whole process with my podcast, as well as this version of the talk show and things like that. I just pretty much be like, hey guys, say whatever you want to say through me. And so, I feel like it works and it flows every time. And for those very same reasons, that at the end of the day, as I ask these real questions that I have for you, I can find out the answer too. It's not that I already know something. So I'm ready, man. I'm telling you, we right here.
Okay. Because even though I have the questions, sometimes the questions are just more like, remember in school when you had to write an outline? It's basically the questions are just an outline for me, just so I can have something to go by. But most of the time, I'll have like 12 questions, I only ask 3. Because the conversation just flows that way, because me and the guests get a rhythm and we just go a different way, and the Lord just takes us a different route. And I'm good with that. I'm very good with that. And as long as it touches somebody and reaches somebody and helps somebody, and I don't care if it's just one, that's all I wanted. That's all I asked for.
Yes, man. We sounded real similar right now. We sound so similar right now. Okay. I'll stop the comparison game.
Oh, we can compare. We can compare because like I said, your name, your podcast name, it was like, I know she got some eyebrows, because I got some. So that's why I was like, oh, I gotta look into her. So yeah, I was like, we're there.
Right. And the funny thing is, I know we met in one of the Christian podcast group. And the interesting thing is, it was like, I know I posted and I'm like, hey, I'm Miracle Sims, God, Sex and Love, X, Y, and Z. And like some of the Christian groups I joined, they were funny about you posting and things like that. And I was just like, okay, the point is, I'm trying to meet people. If I can't post in here, then I don't need to be here,
Right.
So there were some groups that I obviously didn't last in. However, I want to say the group that we met in, and there's a couple of other ones that was cool about, me being able to at least put myself out there and say, hey, I want to be on a show and I want you all to be on my show. And those of you all that have reached out, it's been cool because each person has been, again, unique, and, they have their own stories and their own things going on. And it's amazing, again, what God does through all of us. And using all of our gifts for things. So I think it's amazing. Man, but I saw yours too. There was, again, in that group, I was scrolling and I saw yours and I was like, Worldly Church Girl. Okay. Yeah. Then I checked out everything. I was like, oh yeah. I think, again, we're on the same page in regards to the way we see this Christian journey. Because again, it's not perfect, and none of us are perfect at the end of the day. And I think that's what the kind of type of conversations that I try to have. And it seems like you do that as well, right?
I try to, at least. I found out that with the different people that I talk to, even though everyone's different, we all got the same goal. I mean, all trying to go to heaven. We're all trying to please God, and we're all trying to set an example for those that are around us. But we just all go about it a different way. We don't go by the traditional way, if you will. We had that as a foundation, and I will not take anything away from my foundation. I will not. But sometimes you have to, if you want to reach somebody, you got to step outside of that box. You just have to.
Yeah.
And you ain't got to preach to somebody 24/7 to make them see that God is real and he's the way. You can just talk to them and just live a regular everyday life, and they'll see that you're different. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is a whole word. I agree. I think, I do. I think it goes to, the way you live, and that's a big of a testimony, as well as, sharing and what the pastors do. I mean, but each and every one of us are supposed to be out here, spreading the gospel in whatever way that God has gifted us to do that. That's my opinion on what I'm receiving when I read the Bible about it. But because again, I just feel like all of us have so many different gifts, right? Somebody may not be speakers like me and you, but they might want to, they might be really gifted at writing. Then, hey, they might be the authors, or they might be the bloggers or things like that, but they can still reach the kingdom in whatever way, because it's so important. I feel like our voices are just so important in this season particularly, but I mean, obviously throughout life, right? But I feel like especially now, it's very important for Christians to use their voices and talk about all these real and maybe even hard topics and everything like that. So, I don't know. This might be too juicy. I don't know if you want me to ask this question, but
Uh-oh.
What is the most? Oh Lord, I don't know if I want to ask.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, what's the most controversial thing you talked about thus far on Worldly Church Girl?
The most controversial thing I've talked about on there was probably with Bishop Greg Davis, believe it or not.
Okay.
And
talk about?
He well, I don't know if you heard of him or not, but he's like the relationship guy. But he travels around the world and does like relationship advice. Follow him on Instagram. He gets really good. And funny how I met him. Quick backstory. He was on Instagram on his story thing, and you know how people go live or whatever.
Yeah.
And I commented on there, and he saw my name, and he said, "Worldly Church Girl, what the heck is that about?" So I commented, and I was like, "It's a podcast." He's like, "Are you promoting yourself now?" I was like, "Well, you just asked me what it was about." And he's like, "Well, I never been on your show, so send me an invite." That's what I mean by that name has opened up doors. So we've been on each other's show a total 4 times now.
Nice.
Because of that. So
I feel like people run from my name, I guess. They're like, God, sex, and love.
Well, whenever he goes live, go comment on there. He'll probably invite you to the show, or vice versa. So, anywho, someone asked me to ask him about it was a sex question, and it was just more or less about if one couple is into freakier stuff and the other, and they're married, what do you do? And because
one person in the marriage is into okay.
Yeah, like into
kinkier things
and to the other, what do you do? And what I love about him, he holds no bar. He was just like, well, you should have did your research before you got married, one. You should have asked questions, because because when you're dating, it's all about data, and that's what dating is all about. Dating is data. That's what it stands for. take the ing off, and add a is data. So
Right.
I was like, well, there you have it. Because I was really, like, what can I ask you? What can I ask you? He was like, ask me whatever. I was like, okay, here's one for you. Like to hear it, here it go.
Right. But that's good. I mean, I'm glad that he tackled it and didn't
Yeah.
like get shy away from the conversation, because that's, again, I mean, that's what GSL is to me. It's like, all right, hey, let's tackle these heavy topics or whatever the case is. And so,
Right.
because we tend not to, as Christians, right? We tend to either brush it on the rug or don't talk about it, or things like that. And so I'm glad that he tackled that question. I'm glad that you asked, and whoever asked and everything like that. I mean, obviously they really wanted to know.
Yeah, because I could have shied away from the question and be like, ooh, girl, I can't ask, okay, oh man, girl or man.
Yeah,
I can't ask that question.
I can't ask the bishop that. No.
I can't ask the bishop that. No. So yeah, but it's real life. It's real.
It is.
And for whatever reason, church people, and I'm gonna say not all church people, disclaimer, not all church people do like to shy away from the bedroom. They just like to act like it doesn't exist. Like you just get married and then that's it.
Right.
The children just magically appear.
The story.
Everybody's married.
You said dating is data. That is really, really good, because, like, even when I think about it, sometimes we don't, Christians or non-Christians, I feel like just across the board, people that date, we don't ask those real serious questions or have those conversations, and then we end up marrying, whatever the case is, and then, not to say we're not compatible, but then we're, there's maybe this disconnect when it comes to that, when we should have been clear about whatever our intentions or what our desires were and things like that. It's like, now maybe I'm getting too deep, I don't know, but I was gonna say, it seems like what happens.
Look, I knew what I was walking into when I saw the name.
Oh, you're not here just to talk about that. You're not here. We're talking about everything. But I was just gonna say, like, it seems like we jump into the act versus having the conversations, and then at the end of the day, you didn't get the data, like the gentleman said, like you didn't get information, and now you, I guess, learn hands-on that your partner may not be into everything you're into, when you can have a conversation without that. I don't know, that seems like something that really we need to just keep in our minds, especially people that are dating.
Right.
Dating is for that. I like that.
Yeah, because I've heard also, like, another statement said that, like, women shouldn't try to be sexy when they're in church. Thought that was interesting.
What?
I like your facial expressions.
I'm trying to understand. Like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, are they talking about like the way they dress or something like that? Or are they talking about like what are they? How are women trying to be sexy in church? I mean, I guess the way they dress, right? That's it. Or is it
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. For example, do you remember when Campbell came out on her new album and she had that white dress on?
Okay. I think I know what
do you remember the sisters?
Yes, the
Mary sisters, and she came out with her single album, and she had that real pretty white dress on, and she was showing her curves, and the folks was having a complete fit, talking about she was unbecoming, showing too much, but it was for real like a turtleneck and long sleeves, but she was blessed with curves. It's like, what, she's supposed to have a moo on? I don't understand. What what she was covered up. I mean, she literally turtleneck, long sleeves. It was just a white dress. Her makeup was very just neutral, and a long weave. But they was like, it was just too sexy for a Christian album.
Well, I don't know, because I hear a lot of different things. Like one thing I keep hearing about, which I'm trying to figure it out because I feel like I'm not necessarily getting the same revelation as what I'm hearing. But I don't want to, like, it's not that I'm trying to combat whoever the pastor is, but I'm just like, when I read this, it's like I'm getting something else here, but I don't know. But long story short, have you heard about the whole situation about like, head coverings and whatnot? That's not why I got one on. I just want to wear hair wrap today.
Yeah,
However,
I remember. Yeah.
people like they really go hard for the whole situation of women need to be wearing a head covering situation, and I'm like, even to the point where somebody commented on my like one of my first when I first started to go live with doing the juice, you know, in my roles and all that.
That's still funny. I thought that was
But look, now listen. Now the one thing I do is take off my bonnet. At least I take the bonnet off.
At least you take off your bonnet, but everything else is the real deal.
Right. I kept, whatever ones that I got on that morning,
Mm-hmm.
But at least the bonnet's off. At least you see my hair.
Right.
But at the same time, too, somebody commented in one of the first videos, and I feel like it happened because this is something that I've been thinking about because I had heard about it before. But anyway, somebody comments and like goes in really like all these words that they had to say about, oh, you should be wearing a head covering and blah blah blah, and I guess something about me being a woman, X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, well, like at the end of the day, I'm very clear on the podcast and everywhere. I'm like, I'm not no pastor. I'm not. This ain't no church. Like I'm literally just studying the Bible and just sharing and having like a little conversation kind of with myself because ain't nobody talking to me, but I'm having a conversation with whoever is listening on the podcast and to live about what I happen to read or whatever the case is. Now, I hope that God don't see that as me trying to preach or whatever the case is. And I hope that, me taking my bonnet off isn't offensive to God or something like that. You know what I mean? I just figured that I would at least do that and not keep the bonnet on with my robe and look completely homeless,
Right.
But it's just one of those things. It's like I do hear all these stipulations on women when it comes to things, but then now men, I have heard like pastors explain reasonings in regards to, the fact that women are, were created with more. One pastor described them as ornaments, and then
okay.
okay. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's nothing you can do about like you said, with the situation of the, the turtleneck and everything. I mean, if I say keep it real, man, I guess we both got cleavage right now. I don't know.
I low-key was looking too. I was like,
I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much you can do. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not the best person to ask to talk to. I don't know.
Look, I have 4 babies. Ain't nothing I can do about that.
It's one of those things, man. I guess. I mean, now I think if women are going out of their way, coming in with the thigh high split with the, you know what I mean, like out of their way to be sexy, then maybe I could see where people are coming from. But if it's just the natural thing, then I'm just like, I mean,
some women are naturally sexy. Some women are just naturally sexy. There's nothing they can do about it. So what you gonna do about it? I mean, honestly.
I mean, I guess where the coverings and where the what they call
the moo
the moo. Okay, now I do like now my mother well, we talked about a little bit my childhood and everything like that, and actually I thought about it recently too, about like the mothers in the church, the ones that would wear hats and suits and all of that. Honestly, like when I think back on them now, that is a beautiful sight to see. Like you really rarely see that in churches now and stuff. And so, it makes me think about like the play Crowns and like all, the mothers in the hats and the, or that lady they were talking about recently that she was getting dressed up to the nines for the virtuals, for the virtual church. Did you hear about her?
I think so. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful sight to see. I mean, that beautiful ladies with their, their hats and everything like that. Now I don't know. Does it have to be ill-fitting? Does it have to, is there a point where it's too tight or something like that. I mean, yeah, I guess if your underwear is showing, I guess then maybe it might be a little too tight. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on where you go, right? And I think
Yeah.
I think there's a time you come where you as you are. I do believe that, but then I do believe at some point there is going to be some change and growth in regards to like maybe you came into the church with your shorts on because that's what you had on that day. Um,
Hmm.
but then as you come there and your transformation happens, then perhaps you'll just a little differently or something like that. I mean,
I think
uh,
once the Lord convict you,
yes,
then that's when the change will come.
right.
Because you feel when you start feeling bad, then you be like, okay, I need to change my
Hmm.
fit a little bit.
Right.
I'm doing the most, but if you're not being, if you don't, I feel like like, again, it's an individual thing. But I don't think someone should beat somebody up for how they are in the church. Now, there's being respectful, and then there's somebody who you just don't know if that's all they have, and
Right.
then you didn't beat them up when they come to church, and now they're not coming back
Right.
because you made them feel like crap.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure somebody out there don't appreciate my hair.
Oh Lord. Well, I think it's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
mean, but I know what you mean, though. They
But
might think.
you, there's some old school saints that like she doing the most, but I've never been the type to just do straight black hair because I think it just makes me look older. So I just don't do it. So I always had like extra coloring in my hair, and
Mm-hmm.
just seemed like the older I got, the more color I keep putting in, and like I'm just trying to deny what's happening.
Oh goodness.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it's great. I think it's. Oh. Speaking of, look. Speaking Grace TV says, "I love your hair."
Thank
Shoot.
you.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes people, it's like they find things to be nitpicky about on people and things like
Mhm.
that. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I think there's expression. I think again, your hair is beautiful. If I want to put some color in my hair, like, what does that? I don't think that matters to the kingdom.
Yeah, God gonna be like at the gate, if that's what happens, like you can't come in here with your little purple hair self. Go on now, get. I don't really think that's how that's gonna happen. At least I hope not.
Right, right. I mean, I don't know, because then if it's like, okay, well, if we gonna go there, oh Lord,
Because I'm
all
like,
right,
well,
well,
Lord, and I'm like, but technically, Lord, underneath it's not.
oh Lord. Now I was just about to say, I mean, if we gonna go there, then I guess all women wearing weaves, y'all, you know what I mean? Because that ain't how God made you. Then wear your hair natural, then women. If y'all gonna say
Well,
something about the lady purple hair, like, and be like, oh, it ain't natural, whatever case. Oh well, is your weave natural then?
okay,
Because
come
if it
on
ain't,
now,
you
let
know.
the let the church say Amen.
Like where does it end? Like, oh, so it ends with coloring your hair. Like you can't do that, but you can wear the weave. That still ain't yours. Like I'm just saying, like
Just saying.
not common for people, man. At the end of the day, like everybody we need to be out here again, spreading the gospel, welcoming people in, and helping people build their relationship with God so they can get out here and make disciples too. Like that's what we're supposed to be doing, right?
That's what I thought.
I mean,
I
so
remember. No, go ahead. Go ahead, sis.
oh no, I just was sitting here thinking like, when it comes to all this other extra stuff, like, I feel like it just gets us all off track. Now we sit here
Mhm.
talking about hair and all this other stuff. When didn't God say don't worry about the clothes that you wear?
That's what he said.
Like,
That's what him
don't
said.
worry about those things, right?
That's what
Okay.
he said. Cause I remember one time I went to church and I was in my feelings because I got a little the 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 church hurt. I just put it
Mm-hmm.
that way. I was experiencing
Mm-hmm.
the church hurt, and I walked in. I said, Lord, you know what? It's the last Sunday they're gonna see me. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming
Right.
back here. I'm finished. As soon as I thought it, I mean, literally, as soon as I thought it, the Lord said to me, He's like, if there's nobody in here like you, how can I draw anybody in here like you?
Wow.
Well, alrighty.
Wow.
I guess I'm not going nowhere.
That
But
that is so real. Like, man, because that makes me think too, like, at the end of the day, the whole concept of people being like, oh, there's hypocrites in the church and all this other stuff. It reminds me of somebody say a long time ago that I was
mm-hmm.
like, at the end of the day, if you feel like this church is full of hypocrites, then why don't you be the one not hypocrite there? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you be that person?
Won't you
And
stand
then
out?
so the people can see you, yeah, and at least they'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, all the church had hypocrites in it, but there was this one person that I met that was real,
Yeah,
you
and it was
know.
only because of one person that hurt me. That was the only reason, and it wasn't because the church itself hurt me. It's because one
Mm-hmm.
person hurt me, and I was ready to leave. It's like I'm out.
See.
I'm done because of one person. And the whole thing that I heard the Lord say was fishermen of men. So
Mm-hmm.
like, well, guess I'm here now until He say I can go. So
Right. Look, Speaking Grace TV said they can relate right here. Say, I felt some church hurt too a few weeks ago, but got a word to remain in that church.
amen. I'm glad you stayed. Fight the
Yeah.
good fight. It's hard. It's
Nation.
hard because I remember that when that hurt happened, I went in the bathroom, I cried. Then I
Mm,
called one of my girlfriends in there and told her about what happened and cried to her. And she was, told me not to worry about it. And then I called one of the mothers in there and cried to her about it. And she was like, basically like, look, they ain't no better. Don't worry about it. You just do what you're doing. And
mhm.
then that following Sunday, I was like, I'm done. I cannot do this anymore. And that's when the Lord told me that. I was like, well, guess I'm sticking around. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did because I do love my church. I love it to death.
Mhm,
And that individual, I love them too. And that's the reason why I did hurt, because it was
mhm.
somebody who I did love. And the devil knows how to get to you.
Yes.
Family and the people who's the closest to you, which is your church,
Yep.
sticks you to the heart, stick you in your heart. So, but he just,
Mhm.
at that particular moment, he just didn't win. So,
Amen. Amen. Funny thing is, I was talking to these ladies on Speaking Grace TV. I guess it's coming out tomorrow. But we were talking about love, and we were talking about the different aspects of love, and like, family, friends, and all those things. That at the end of the day, we got to do what God, did for us, which was show that grace and mercy in spite of whatever those people do. So, hopefully you and that person are able to work it out, or did work it out, or whatever the case is. I don't know how long ago it was.
I'm not gonna even lie. I've never addressed the issue with that person because I
Mm,
didn't feel the need to. I
got
just was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone and let it be. And I
got.
just loving them regardless of it all. So,
Mm,
and they probably didn't even realize what they did when they did it. So I didn't even address it to them.
I
So
got.
yeah.
I'm like that too sometimes. I'm not into conflict and this whole back and forth and stuff like that. So some things I tend to let
Mm.
do. Um, I don't know. Some things face head on, some things let go. But I think it always depends on that person that I'm dealing with too. If there's somebody that I already know is not going to understand and stuff like that, it's like pointless sometimes to have the conversation. I feel
Right.
like, because it's like, okay, you're not even going to understand where I'm coming from. So it's
Especially
like,
if it happens more than once, then there's no point of saying something. And it was one of those more than one situations. I'm like, this is just how it is.
man, and see, that's a terrible thing too, because sometimes when people do have that church hurt, and they would, if they, because maybe they would ignore the revelation that you receive, right? You're like, okay, God told me to stay, but maybe they could have in their mind been like, no, no, God, I'm not staying here, no, and they would have moved on and maybe stopped going to a church and stop. People do that,
All
and
the
then
time.
it's like, I don't know, I just feel like we really, really should just, I guess all of us should be listening to God and doing things His way in regards to how we deal with each other. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what it was, the issue, that happened with you all. But if that's going to cause your brother or sister to stumble, then you probably shouldn't do or say it. That's what the word say, at least what I read. Like,
What I
and I'm
heard.
paraphrasing it a bit, but like goodness. But I ask myself all the time, like, why don't we do this? And every time I be Bible studying, I'm like, we do not live like this. Why don't we live like this? I don't understand why we don't live like this. Are we all reading the same Bibles here?
Nope. No, I was kidding.
But no.
I got my version. They got theirs.
I get look, your truth, my truth.
Mm-hmm.
God, girl,
everybody translated different. So
I don't understand how though. How, sis?
I don't know. That's why you're supposed to study for yourself. I mean, even even when the preacher's preaching, and that's something that I will always take with my daddy. He will say, "There's nothing wrong with listening to the preacher at church and whatever scripture they give you." He said, "But when you go home, read the scripture read the whole chapter, because what they read or spoke was their interpretation. Now go home and read that whole chapter and get something completely different." Like, for instance, when it talks about in the Bible about how women are not supposed to wear men's apparel. But if you read that whole chapter, it also says that we are not supposed to mix fabrics. I'm paraphrasing. So which means you're not supposed to wear like different cotton blends and all that. So if you're gonna, bash a woman for wearing pants, which again makes no sense because there were no pants back then, but we're not gonna go there. But if you're gonna bash a woman for wearing pants, well then you need to look at your closet and get rid of all your cotton blends and your spandex and your rayons and all that other stuff and just get one fabric and just wear that complete ensemble. So do not break up the word to fit your little pocket or your little box without making that box bigger and make it for everything, including yourself. So
girl,
just saying.
That's the whole word right there. Because at the end of the day, and this is the thing too. I was kind of looking into the law last week when I was doing my Bible study. I kind of sprinkled between a lot of the things about the law, and the thing, it's like, okay, what I'm still, I guess, needing to study more or get a better understanding of is the fact that, okay, Jesus didn't necessarily like clear law in regards to being like, okay, the law means nothing. But at the same time, what he did, gave us freedom from those stipulations of the
law. Right.
Yeah, like, because he came and fulfilled it. So it's just one of those things. But it doesn't mean that, I don't know. It's one of, I'm trying to find that balance of, okay, so now we are free to, for example, I guess, wear the different blends and all this stuff. So does that mean we're free to do everything that was in the thing? But then at the same time too, it's like, well, some things are clearly like,
there's clearly things you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, clearly things you're not supposed to do. But then people will use those things to be like, well, you're not saying that about shrimp. You're not saying that about the cotton blends. You're not saying that about the whatever. And it's like,
right.
But I mean, how you trying to compare the two? I get that they both was laws at that time, and then Jesus fulfilled it, so now we're technically free from those things. But at the same time, it's like sometimes it's clear, like in regards to just life, right? Just these things affect life. Like, does the cotton blend affect life? You know what I mean? Does eating shrimp affect like the life? I don't see where it does, but some of this other stuff does affect life. So
right.
I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, again, I'm not sitting here acting like I'm a scholar and I know every aspect and stuff.
I'm not doing that at all. But no, not by any means. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. And because, matter of fact, when you said that we're both speakers, I want to tell you so bad. No, we're not. You're a speaker, but I don't want nobody's title.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just good old Lillian Harshaw. I'm not Sister Lillian, missionary, evangelist, speaker. No, I don't want the responsibility. I don't want the headache. I don't want to be in judgment and be like, remember when you was a speaker? No.
We accept your calling, Miss Harshaw.
No. But do you remember you was a speaker in
Well, she being
2021?
Jonah
No,
right
I
now. She
don't.
being Jonah.
No, I don't remember I was a speaker because I never said I was a speaker. They said I was a speaker.
You are using your voice in this season, Miss Lillian, and that's a wonderful thing.
No, ma'am. No, sir. To anybody who trying to throw that title on me, no.
Oh, it's funny. I keep talking about Speaking Grace TV because they were the ones tuning in live. It's so funny because I was talking to them earlier today. But oh girl, she kept calling me an expert or whatever. I'm like, girl,
okay. Don't give me titles.
What you talking? You know what I mean?
Don't give me no titles. No. I remember when I was a property manager, our dogs didn't like that title, but I like the money, but I didn't like the title because that meant if something happened, it fell on me. And that's why I don't understand why people chase after ministry titles. Because those souls that are lost falls on you, sir and ma'am. So why are you want a title just so you can have the front row parking lot spot? No. And then when you go to work, you're still Bob. You're not Pastor Bob. You're Bob. So why are you trying to run after a title? I don't understand it. Now, if that is your calling and the Lord told you to be a pastor, that's one thing. But if you just chasing a title just because you want a title, that's just tomfoolery. No. I don't want people's souls on my hand because I want the title and fame and glory or whatever. No. So Lillian's fine. Thank you.
That is real though. That is real. And maybe they're not paying attention to those verses, but like you just said, that the blood and whatever's on their hand, especially if they lead and lead people astray and stuff like that. That's what I say about like unbelievers and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they don't believe and they don't care about what the Bible say, but I'm just like, man, say if I didn't agree with the Bible, right? I would be like, okay, fine, I don't agree with it, and I probably just keep it to myself or whatever the case is. I probably wouldn't go out here and be proclaiming and trying to get other people to go along with me. Because at the end of the day, what the Bible say is very clear, and it sounds bad for the people that do that. It's like, especially when it talks about little children, but it could be, who knows, it could mean actual little children or little children in faith. It could mean both, right?
Right.
And so at the end of the day, it says it's better for that person to be thrown in the sea with a millstone than to lead those people astray. Right. But you won't be out here on your bullhorn telling people to follow you and agree with you because you disagree with the Bible. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. That's how. I mean, it's a little touchy. I don't want to do that.
Like, yeah, I scared. So
it's saying, like, that's what the word said. I know, people don't agree and everything like that, but I would just kind of, I don't know. I would kind of keep that to myself. If I didn't agree, I'd be like, all right, well, I don't personally agree and leave it at that. But that ain't what people do. People be like, I don't agree, and I need you to come with me and not agree. Everybody, yes, that's not agree.
No.
And then, I mean, in the end, and then what? Because for me, I feel like it's a 50-50 chance, right? And for those that don't believe or whatever the case is, it's like either everything in the Bible is true or it's not. So if it is true,
hooray!
You know what I mean?
For us as living right,
right?
Yeah. And then if it's not, what do you have to lose? You just lived a good life trying to live right.
Right.
But for you to just live
on the opposite side. So
listen, I don't like real hot summer. So what in the world do I look like trying to burn forever? Forever. Never burning up to ash, just crispy for the rest of my day. Forever. All eternity. No.
I'm good.
No. I don't like bugs. I don't like flies. And you talking about some demons running around? No. Jesus, no.
Right. But I don't know. I guess it's like some people. Yeah, to each their own. Everybody got free will. Choose whatever you want to choose, right? You have the free will to do that. Nobody's taking that away from you. I'm just saying it don't look good. According to what I'm reading, it just, I wouldn't want to play those games. That's me. But
Okay, I'm not about that life.
Right? Man. So Miss
Mm-mm.
Lillian,
Yes, ma'am.
so it seems like you know a bit of a Renaissance woman as well. You have what else do you have going on outside of Worldly Church Girl? Tell us a little bit about that
Wait.
side of you.
Um, well, beside the podcast, I also have the YouTube channel, and which is what you do, which is the live show,
Mm-hmm.
where you'll see the guests like you were on there.
Yes.
And I'm also part of Awesome Guy Radio, which is they were nominated for a Stella Award in 2019 and also this year in 2021. Which is funny. Again, that goes back into the doors that were open. I interviewed the owner of that of that station,
Mm-hmm.
and this was before I would do face to face because this gives me anxiety. Believe it or not, y'all, doing face to face. That's neither here nor there. Uh, so I would do just like no screen, you can't look at me and I can't look at you type
Mm-hmm.
thing. And he was like, you know, you need to do this live and this, that, and the other. And I was like, nope, don't want to do it. You can't make me do it. And thanks for the offer. And a few months later, the Lord just kept nudging me. And that's how it all started as far as me doing the lives, which that's why I said 2020 was the live shows. In November is one of my first live, and that was through Awesome God Radio. So I like to thank them for bringing me onto the family. So I've been with them since then, and it's just been a joy and a blessing being a part of that. And cause funny story, hate name dropping, but anyway, I I interviewed Montel Jordan, right? Same thing. I didn't want to see him face to face. So he had his camera on. I told him to turn it off. And he was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes." He was like, "You for real?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Turn it off. I don't want to look at you. You don't. I don't need you to look at me. Turn it off. I can't do face to face.
Oh,
This is audio only." He's like, "Are you for real?" I'm like, "Yes." It was giving me anxiety. So um yeah, but Lord is pushing me through this
working
process.
on it.
I know it
Yeah.
seems like I don't have it, but yes, this is a journey for me.
Well, I think you're handling it beautifully. I don't think anybody would have even known if you hadn't said it. So, I mean,
Oh,
hey,
thank you.
wherever you started from, it seems like you're on a good path and working through it. So, I'll be praying
Yeah.
with you on that and everything. Because you look,
Thank you.
go
Thank
on, Jonah. Look, start running, Jonah. Start running.
you. Girl, got on track shoes. Do you hear me?
I
Ran
don't
a
want
good
to
race.
look like my son be like, I don't want it.
I don't
God
want
over
it.
there like, get over here and do this show. I don't want
I don't want it.
it.
Mm-mm. Can't do it. Don't want to do it. Nope.
And then look, now she on these radio stations and all this stuff. Look at you. God is
that's
good.
that's what I said. These doors that are opening, I didn't even know existed because this is it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, and I know God is just gonna just make it keep growing and getting bigger and bigger, and I got to
Mhm.
get used to this. I don't have a choice in this game right now, so this is all Him. So
Yeah.
here it is. Here I am.
But isn't it like a wonderful thing? Well, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, I feel
Mm,
like it's been a wonderful thing to just trust God in this season. Like, because He's just been supplying, and like I said, even with me, I say it all the time. I try to just reiterate, like, I'm not working. Technically, I'm unemployed. Like, but
mhm.
the fact that we still eat around here. We still have clothes. Still, have electricity. I'm still able to take care of my part of the bills. Like, I just feel like it's just been a blessing, that God is just showing Himself each time, and I just think it's crazy. I know people, um, I don't know what other people have been doing with these stimuluses and whatnot, but I'm just like, man, every time I need one, we got one coming. Like, I'm over here
Okay.
like, and I'm like, now
I'm
people
like, come
might not
on.
think of that as a blessing, but I'm like, that to me has been a blessing because each and every time that it was needed, it was there. And next thing I know, I can keep everything going again. And it's just, for me, it's God. Some people don't want to acknowledge that, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think it is, and I would gladly take another one if they want to swing one another my way again, our way again.
You know, yeah.
Okay, I will pay my tithes off of it and be like, thank you, Lord.
Exactly. Me too. Me too. Like, all right, Lord, because you really blessing in this season. So what's going
Okay,
on? You said you got a book on the way? Or what's going on with the
it's
book?
not on the way. I am still writing. Now, here's a story about the book. I have
Okay.
written it twice and deleted it twice because I didn't like it.
Okay.
Okay, so I am currently rewriting. Actually, I was writing last night, and I'm digging it now. It sounds more like me now because I
Oh.
think the first two times felt more copycat. You know how
Mm,
you read other people's stuff and
kind
they
of.
trying to find your way. It felt more copycat. This round sounds more like me. So
No.
I was writing last night. So this sounds more like me. So I'm expecting this to be done probably in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we'll have to bring you back then so you can tell us all about it. You like, it's gonna be
Girl, like I said, this will not be in the Christmas section. And
let me
it's
talk
gonna
about everything on here.
but see, it's gonna be a three-part series. The first book is my high school years. The
Okay.
second book is gonna be like from my 20s to my 30s. And
Mm.
then the last book is gonna be from my 40s to now, because I'll be 50 next year. So
Okay. Look, 50 wins.
this is Jesus and Oliver
Yes.
Lake. So Oliver
Yes.
Lake, if y'all want to pay me, because I have been using it since 16. So y'all want to pay me? I am all here.
Love it. Love it. Well, look her up all over like like doing big things. She has the radio show and all that.
Okay, now.
Well, I mean, again, I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Like I said, you were definitely welcome anytime and
Oh,
everything
thank you,
like
sis.
that. And
Well, you
I
know what?
don't.
You are too, because I know you about to you do some big things because you got everything popping off on you. I mean, got winery and everything else, nails. I'm like, this girl's doing it. I mean, come on now.
Little pandemic hustles, you know what I'm saying? That just
Okay.
flourished on me.
So she is making
So
it happen.
like I say, you don't be providing because at the end of the day, like even when things kind of slow down, then next thing I know, some of the side hustles kicked in, and I'm like, okay, boom, Lord, I see you. You just provide,
Hmm.
you provide, and I appreciate you.
And
So,
at 4 o'clock in the morning.
oh, yeah,
Listen, 4 o'clock in the morning. I might have got up to use the bathroom and got back in the bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
that was just my time. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I think it was just. I think the point for that was just kind of wanting to have some type of inspiration for people to, see when they wake up. So that's why I was like, okay, if I have something out by 6, that should be a good time. And I don't know what time people wake up, but if they're doing 9 to 5 or something like that, maybe they go to 7. I don't know. So I was like,
Mm.
I'm trying to have something out by 6. So I got to get up at 4 so I can work out and do all this little stuff. Now,
Hmm.
sometimes, I sway with the working out. I tell the people on the podcast, like, okay, so I didn't do the full routine today, but
But I was here.
I do. Yeah, but I did the prayer meditation part, though. I did that part. But then sometimes I'm like, I did full routine. And then, like I
Now,
said, my guy over in Australia, he'd be like, hey, full routine, good job. Keep
okay,
me going, like cheer me on.
keeping it
So
global. That's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Just even just stepping out on faith, no, like not knowing who's gonna listen or if anybody's gonna listen at all. And the fact that
Hmm.
now, yeah, this guy over in Australia listens. The girls at Speaking Grace TV, they telling me they're in the UK. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Oh
just over here
wow.
like God is just doing his thing. And again, I wouldn't have met none of y'all if I hadn't just stepped out on faith April 1st, 2020, and was like, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and do this podcast thing. And
April Fool's Day. Get
yep,
out.
yeah, that's it. That's right, yep. First.
That's what's up. That's wonderful.
So that's
That
my
is
little journey.
that's wonderful. I'm glad you did it because then we wouldn't have never met. And so
No,
I'm glad you did it.
me too, me too. Like I said,
Oh,
I'm glad I met you, and I met so many other amazing people too, and so it's just been a blessing. And like I said, you're definitely welcome back. I don't want to be long your time though, so if there's anything that you definitely wanted to share before we leave, if you like, hey, I'm gonna go on God Said Some Love, and I want to definitely say this, what would that be?
Okay. All right. So y'all can catch me on Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time live. My podcast is on anywhere you can find your favorite podcast stations. So that's Apple's, what is that? Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, any of them. I mean, for real, any of them. Or you can go to my website, www.worldlychurchgirl.com. And that is a trademark. I got my trademark this year. So, yeah. So when I say you're one and only worldly church girl, oh, that's for real.
Hey, congratulations!
Yes, thank you. That was something I wanted. My husband helped me get last year, and well, I started the process last year in April, probably around the same time you started, April, and we just got the paperwork this month. So it was a long process, but Worldly Church Girl is a trademark. Can't take it away from me.
Love that.
Heavenly and earthly. You can't take that name away from me.
Yes. Look, them husbands come in handy every now and then, don't they?
Yes, I love me some him.
Oh, look, we have to have y'all back on here or something. Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know.
Oh. I mean, you know what? That's a story within itself because we met online.
Man, we gotta have you back to the story. Testimony if you want to. No pressure.
Yeah, we met online on a dating site. So yeah, you had to bring me back to tell you that story.
Okay. Well, look, I'm looking forward. Look, somebody say, "Wow." Ooh, they want to know about it. They want to know about it. Okay. Hey. Well, all right. Well, I don't want to be on your time again. I mean, I guess it's that time to go. Look, I don't know if you feel like I felt that other day when you was like, it's already like,
it's an hour already? What? I know, that was fast. That was a quick hour. But I had a good time. Thank you so much for having me on here. Whew, I feel better. My nerves is all right. I was, worried being in the hot seat, but you're an excellent host. You're an excellent host. Love your style. Love your flow.
Thank you. I try every now and then.
Yeah, I wish you. I mean, I know God's gonna bless you, but I pray that He just continues to just bless you even more abundantly than you thought was gonna happen.
Hey, I believe in receiving, and I believe the same to you, sis. Same to you.
Thank you.
To you. Look, stop running, Jonah. Stop running.
Look, I got like some tennis shoes that I haven't wore because of the pandemic last year. I'm gonna put them on and get a good sprint.
Look, you gotta come back with the books. Come back with the hubby. Whatever.
Now, I got all kind of stories. Okay, the TV show. There's all kind of. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Well, we'll talk next time. We'll talk next time.
Sounds good. All right, y'all. Well, thank you all for watching.
Wait a minute. Look, my hand's about to go out and do the click. I told you. That's why I moved it. I'm so used to doing the clicks myself. Oh, Lord Jesus. Get me off of here. All right, girl.
Oh, goodness. Well, those of you all that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again, Miss Lillian Harshaw, for joining me. Check out Worldly Church Girl. Look, wherever you guys may see, you never know, man. This lady is gonna be everywhere. I already see it. She already on all the podcast stations, little channels. You never know. Keep an eye out for this lady right here, y'all. Good night. Bye.